It's a huge honour to be here today speaking to you, Your Excellency. Thank you for your time. Design is one of the most powerful forces in our lives, and for the most powerful way of communicating ideas that humanity has. Successful design sends intentional messages to the audience, and it helps them to understand what they are looking at. I started off at Central St. Martin's studying fine art and portraiture, and here's two examples of my work. I remember my tutor saying, pay attention to the eyes. This is where you create the intensity. This is where you create the power, Colin. The subject's eyes are what makes the viewer feel something. I've been a designer now for over 30 years, the first 10 years as a currency designer. Here is my early work in watercolours and pencil crayons, conceptual design that we would then show to presidents and central banks. And when they made a change, we would have to start again. This is another design for the last 20 years, I have been doing ID cards and passports. But there was a similarity between ID cards and currency. And in the early 90s, I designed a series for the Zambia kwacha and the Kenya shilling. It was my first trip to Kenya in 91, and I worked with the central bank coming up with this design. What was paramount important to me then was being immersed here at ground level, meeting you, meeting the nationals, in the rural places, in the urban towns and the townships. Anyone remember those notes? I love travelling because every place I've been to, even when I return to it multiple times, I learn something new and I encounter different perspectives, and it deepens my cultural understanding. Along with travel, I have designed over 30 passports worldwide. Previously, the 2 UK passports, the Estonia book, which HID Global won an award for, and the recently launched Bahrain project, which was just this March. But one of my favourite nations on earth is Africa, and I've spent many months exploring this continent, researching, doing my own photography. I've sat around boardroom tables with presidents, but equally I've sat with orphans. I volunteered for a charity in Mozambique, working there for 3 months, playing football with the young children underneath the hot African sun. Subsequently, I've had the honour to design several passports for Africa, and Kenya is one of those that I designed. Rwanda also, and the recently launched Sierra Leone. I'll show you some of those in a moment. It wasn't until I walked with the lions in Zimbabwe that I felt a tangible strength and a power being with these big cats. Similarly, it isn't until you walk the design journey with me that you discover the enormous potential and power and strength of design. So let's dig a little bit deeper into this phrase. The role of a designer has many interpretations. When we say the word design, I'm sure many things appear in people's minds. Some of you may ask, what has design ever done for me? Well, consider the chair that you're sitting on, or the car that you drive, or the kitchen that you're saving up for. The truth about design is it shapes our understanding and the world and our experience within it. What defines us as humans is our ability to design our world. Design can enhance the aesthetic appeal of products and environments. Design can create brand recognition. It can foster innovation and creativity. Design can create a sense of community and belonging by designing spaces and environments that promote social interaction and shared experiences. And design can promote safety and security, both in ID documentation, but other products and environments, and minimize risk and protect users from harm. I would bet that you would all recognize these symbols, and I would suggest that the power of design in these is in the mere simplicity of them. But these would have taken a long time deliberating over the idea. What about these? Testing your regional knowledge. Whether it's design layout, composition, typography, style or colour, each design is recognizable, and distinct elements to draw to your attention. As a designer, there is so much variation. I have 16 million colours to choose from, all sorts of different materials and textures, multiple different styles, from photographic, illustrative, abstract, and of course, typography. But here's where I think the real power of design grows. Because the role of a designer, me as a designer, has evolved from a shape giver to a facilitator, from me to we. Our power at HID Global lies in the fact that we want to get round the table with you and listen to your voice. We want to collaborate with you and we want to share our ideas together. And that process starts with you. And the process that we start with is a design workshop, understanding what it is like to live in your country. You always have a head start on me. And getting that local input as early as possible. But not only the things that you like in design, the things that you don't. So I will look at your currency and your passport, and I will ask open and honest questions. Do you like the colour? Do you like the design? Designers have to have thick skin and soft hearts. Conversation seeds collaboration. I heard that yesterday. I love that phrase. And running these workshops brings a fascinating level of detail. And if done well, you're spoilt for choice. I always start off by asking the customer this one question. What does your country mean to you? What does Kenya, as a citizen, mean to you? And a few essential things that I kick off with is I'm visual. Show and don't tell. Encourage wild ideas. Stay focused on the subject. Defer any judgment. Put all the ideas in the greenhouse and nurture them. No idea is a bad idea as a designer, so let's at least consider it if it's coming from your voice. Build on the ideas of the customer and be willing to quickly adapt. And of course, design is subjective and everyone can get very excited about it, so I try to encourage one conversation at a time. What do we learn from these? Well, of course, we find out the usual subjects of governance, history, national symbols, language and culture, geography, so much more. But as we dive deeper, the real power of design is revealed through more complex strands. Perhaps we need to define past issues or problems, try to solve these for you in your new design, or prioritize simplicity, making the design easy to understand, or focus on creating a design that has a positive impact on the audience and the world around them. I recently had the privilege to work with the Ministry of Interior in Kenya. They travelled to the UK on a couple of occasions. We sat around a table for 3 days discussing your country and finding out about it in detail. There were some high-level takeaways: natural wonders, cultural heritage, economic process, environmental conservation, education and innovation. One of these subjects alone could be the narrative for your new book. Peace and unity, sports and fitness, your excellence, you're world-renowned for your sporting acumen, for your runners in long distance. And of course, women empowerment, emphasising Kenya's commitment to women's empowerment, showcasing its achievements in education, politics, business, and social justice. It's this attention to detail that is so important and makes these projects so successful. And it delivers the powerful message that we as a company have listened to you. And a good example is the current Kenya passport, of which I designed now over a decade ago. Yes, it probably needs an upgrade, and there's lots of things now I would do differently. But a decade ago, I listened to you, and you talked about having the big five, representing the lion, the leopard, the elephant, the water buffalo, and the rhinoceros. There were so many ways that I could have interpreted this. But I decided to showcase the Kenya shield. And you can see the line of animals on the bottom, and highlighted in the spot red is each creature as it goes through the double-page spread of the passport. So there's some striking recognition in the power of design on the book. But I wonder in your current passports whether you've seen the level of